YouTube, Dragon Link, good now. We just got all of the brand new Burst Protocol support in Master Duel. We are pretty much in line with the TCG. It's very exciting times. We get to play with all of these new tools. Now, unfortunately, we didn't get Barrage Coder, or Rocket Barrage. That's a completely custom card, and unfortunately, we just don't have it. It's an overframe card. We don't know when it's coming. TCG maybe has a chance of getting it during the rarity collection in like a month or two. But for us in Master Duel, so this is the day one rocket list here. Now, it's beefy, it's got a lot of cards, and we're trying to do some stuff here. What are we dealing with? So first and foremost, this is just day one deck list. Don't read too much into it. As always with deck lists, take what you like, change what you don't like. Very simple. Okay, so what you're trying to do here is pretty much facilitating everything that we did before previously with Dragon Link. The end board of Dragon Link is trying to put up a negate with Savage, maybe a negate with Bestial Dissipator, but of course, Boral and Dragon. And now with the new cards, it's actually really easy to also put up another Link 5 Boral Shroud Dragon. Just another face-up card negate thing. Really powerful card. Can't be Kaiju either, which is like really random. The deck still loses Super Polymerization, but that's okay. We're trying to find other ways to make this deck good. Now, another option for you to play is just play like 40 cards and just cut all of the non-rockets. I know, insane to think. You just don't play White Dragon and Black Dragon. You cut the Bestials down tremendously. You don't play Chaos Space. You can just play like a Dragon, a Rocket deck, and you can use like Impulse, which is also really positive. Being locked into only darks basically is, you know, fine. It just means you can't use light monsters, which is why you wouldn't play the Lebellion or the Wyver Burster or the Seals, actually. And the Seals is kind of taking a small back seat to some of the new Rocket cards. The best normal summon in the deck is Rocket Loader. It's full combo by itself. Well, not full combo, but it is a good combo by itself. That means you don't get to use too many, you know, extra deck tools like Dragunity Romulus or ending on the Seals as often. But in this version, you do get to still do that. Now, the question is, you have to ask yourself, it's been a while. Are we really still trying to go through Romulus and pass on the Seals? Like, is that really where Dragon Link is? Well, the problem is, after trying the pure Rocket version for a bit, it just didn't feel like it had enough starters. You really just need Rocket Barrage, I think, to really round out the starter cards. So that's why we're still playing all this crap. Anyway, that's the deck list. Again, like I said, just change what you don't like, keep what you do like, and this is just a basic iteration of the deck list for day one. The extra deck is pretty solid. Some flex spots include Quad Boral Dragon. It's only exceptionally good versus Link decks. You'll see there's a game in this video that it does actually come up against. And there's Dark the Dark Charmer as well. That's just another kind of flex card. Other than that, you could maybe bring in Masquerena, you could bring in Dylangeris Dragon, maybe potentially another Synchro if you want, like Chaos Angel if you really like. So there's some flexibility in the extra deck. Let's jump into the games and see if this deck can win some duels. Well, it's the new format, new ship, new me, etc, etc. This is against Vanquish Soul K9. This deck is going to struggle immensely versus Vanquish Soul K9. You're going to need a good amount of fortune to be able to take this deck down consistently and take it down consistently going second. So don't read too much into this game. Listen, I've always been the type of person that undersells rather than oversells a deck. Maybe Dragon Link is crazy. It did, I think, top a Decade Weekly. So, you know, local tops abound. It turned out that he just didn't have anything to tag into the Raisin after the Imperm. So, you know, sometimes you just put your opponent on better have it, and sometimes you have it. Now, as you can see here, we've drawn pretty much every Garnet in the deck. Ravine, 1-of, Detonator, 1-of, Interlock, 1-of, Regenerator, 1-of. That's really unfortunate. I guess it's payment for opening Maxi. Miraculously, our opponent doesn't have Ash Blossom. Which means that we do get to actually play the game with Ravine. They have drawn Azuna, and because we activated Moss Effect in the hand, previously it was a spell trap, so that's why Imperm is really good this format, because K9 Azuna is not triggered off of Imperm. But they do get to kind of play on our turn, but that's kind of okay, because we do have Maxi to help us through that. So we're going to go and continue through our plays here with the search of Tracer. Now, I didn't search Loader, because while Loader is a one-card combo, it's only one-card combo with Absoluter. I don't know if there's a way to make Loader a one-card combo without Absoluter. I'm still fairly, like, new to the new cards myself, so let me know if there's combos involving that. I don't know if there is. Probably not. We get hit with the Snow Devil here, which is a full Raigeki for the field. Yeah, that's crazy. Now, Boot Sector Launch is an insane Reborn style card. Unfortunately, it's not useful here because they also blew up their own field. But we did draw the Regenerator. So what can we do here? We bring back the Rocket Recharger. We go for Striker Dragon. Striker Dragon target itself, destroy itself, add back the Recharger. In the new chain, the Recharger activates in hand because the Rocket was destroyed, which then brings back a monster. We're going to bring back the Rocket Detonator. Now we have a Link in the graveyard, which facilitates the summoning condition of Fatal Flare Dragon. So we had to jump through a lot of hoops here to actually turn this on. But here it is. There's Fatal Flare Dragon. There's going to add a Rocket Monster. We're going to add the Rocket Loader for, I guess, potentially next turn or something here. We can use the Fatal Flare Dragon. Now, this guy equips a card. Normally, what you're supposed to do with the combo here is you're supposed to, like, equip the new Link 3, summon the Link 3 with Detonator, and then that's how you make a second Link 5 really easily. But obviously, we're struggling out here. So we summon out the Striker Dragon with the Detonator. We go for the 2 into Breach Borrow. We don't actually have a target, it turns out. But we do get to use the launch here. Now, in hindsight, what I actually should have done was rather than searching Loader, in my mind, like halfway through this combo, I was like, well, I mean, I probably can't get this onto the board, but then, you know, we actually end up finding lines. This should have been a Silver Rocket Dragon. Then I'd be able to use the Breach Borrow effect, target the Silver Rocket Dragon, which boosts it by like 500. The Silver Rocket destroys itself and then rips a card out the opponent's extra deck. That would have been exceptionally massive, and probably would have just won us the game on the spot, as you'll probably see soon. Pisty is then going to bring back a monster here. We just attack for some damage because this is the most amount of damage we can do before going to main phase 2, where we combine our entire board into a Borderland Dragon. I mean, all things considered, with that hand, it was really mediocre, and we still managed to make him Borrow end. So how does our opponent out this? Well, as I mentioned with the Silver Rocket play, would have been really nice for us to rip Typhon out the extra deck, huh? Yeah, you can probably see what's coming. Okay, so they're going to go into Lantern, bring back Izuna, normal summon the Raisin. Raisin is going to add Mad Love, and from here, we negated the Lantern. I mean, I don't know if that was correct or not. I'm not sure what I should have held for. It just feels very risky because, like, if I don't use Borrow End early enough, then maybe, like, we risk, like, the Typhon. So I'm trying to just get value out of it immediately. In hindsight, maybe it is fine to hold it for as long as possible. So it turns out they realized, like, I don't know, that this Borrow End is, like, indestructible, or they can't attack over the Recharger. Recharger has a hidden field effect where it says that it can be targeted for attacks. So I think they wanted to try and, like, attack first. But then, you know, they realized that they messed up here. So the Typhon does get made. The Silver Rocket play that I mentioned earlier would have probably just won us the game because, weirdly enough, without Typhon, K9 Vanquished, like, really struggles. But anyway, this is where the crazy effect of Boot Sector Launch is going to come in clutch here. So we get to reborn our entire graveyard, basically. They're going to go and add back Raisin. We get to bring back Tracer and Detonator. Tracer is then going to pop the Boot Sector. We get another monster out of the deck here. Go for the Striker Dragon. Striker Dragon is... What are we doing? I think we're going to go for another Recharger play. Going to go for another Recharger play just to try get some Link bodies onto the field. I was thinking of, like, some, like, cute Pisty line, but I think just having, like, a big number on the field was, like, really important. Now, here's a really funny situation. They bring back Lupus and Izuna because they're trying to make a play on our turn. They cannot exceed on our turn because Lupus's attack is boosted by Case, floodgated by his own Crisis. Just diamond things, just diamond things. On top of that, what's really cool here is Borrow End is generic. I don't know why you would want to make it outside of a Rocket deck. That's why I normal summon Droll, because I get to keep one Rocket monster on the field, which means that I get to use the Borrow End to bring back a guy and then also end on Savage Dragon. But it turns out it didn't actually matter because we can just... Borrow End just attacks everything. And then we can use the Borrow End to negate the effect of the Link monster. Which means we can attack it directly. And if you look at the life points, our opponent is dwindling. So, yep, we managed to take down Vanquish K9 going second. That was a game of all time. Alright, this is versus a Shifter deck. And it's Cyberse. And we're going second. How the heck is it possible to win this one? Well, it turns out that as good as Shifter is against Dragon Link, if you start under Shifter and Malice, it's not like insane. Like it doesn't like make your combos better. In fact, it actually like does kind of restrict you a lot with regards to like some of your non-malice plays. So, you know, it's not like a complete auto win. I've also Fuwa lost him, thankfully, which gets to activate under Shifter, which means he just decides to not go for any value in terms of the, what's it called? Giving me draws by going into, like, some sort of small, like, play here. Now, this is an awkward situation because, again, the Shifter is still online. They made it 2 turns because that's just a really fun aspect of Shifter. It's more turns, so the longer it lasts, the more enjoyment both players get from it. I understand it's a balancing aspect. Anyway, it's still annoying. Anyway, so it's an awkward situation here because it's like anything I attack, if I attack any Malice monster, it just comes back. So I'm like, okay, let's get rid of, like, let's do some damage over the Chessy Cat. Let's attack over the Dormouse, and then I get to attack over the Dormouse again because I do get to pop a card and then summon another monster with the Tracer. I get the search off of the Rocket Loader, and I attack over the Dormouse again. In hindsight, I definitely should have just attacked the Ignister monster, and then attacked the Dormouse twice. I think was probably what we should have done. It just would have denied the body. In my mind, I was like, okay, let's get rid of Chessy Cat. I don't want to get the draw next turn, but the Shifter is online, so it is kind of awkward. But we go for the SP Little Knight. It kind of depleted a lot of resources by banishing so much there, just to get rid of the Chessy Cat permanently. An SP is still going to be somewhat decent on this turn here. Now, in hindsight, this is also another awkward situation where it's like, okay, maybe I should SP before he gets the Malice trap down. But in my mind, the longer I wait, the better it is because we get SP value out of like the non-Malice links. So as you can see here, he realizes, well, he's holding SP for too long. He has to go to the battle phase. So he goes to the battle phase, then in main phase 2, that's when you can start playing. And then doing a bunch of other Link stuff, I suppose. Now, I do have a Drew's Worm, which there's like a world where this card can be like really, really powerful. Right here versus Wizard Ignister. At Ignister, it's maybe an argument to be used there. The problem is that the Wizard, I think, because of the PSET, still summons itself. So it's still like a body, and he still gets the trap. So I'm like, okay, I don't know. Like, I'm hoping to high roll to reach a situation where he just, like, misplays with his, like, White Binder or Heart Cryptor or something, and then I can punish that by banishing a card that's already been banished. So he's put both of his names in the graveyard. Now he tries to go Transcode Talker into the White Binder. This feels somewhat decent because the White Binder isn't going to come back here. But at the same time, it's also weird because he's still got the trap card, so I don't know, you know, it's rough. We go for a main phase 2 access Code Talker. I think he's a little bit flustered. This doesn't seem completely accurate, but looks okay to me. We deny the Firewall Dragon, but he still ends on the Heart Cryptor and traps. So, I mean, it could have been significantly worse for us, most likely. Let's see if we can crack this board. So we draw for turn. It's turn 4. We finally get to actually play the game of Yugioh now, since Shifter is no longer online for our turn. We draw Lebellion, which is an absolutely insane draw for this situation because we just get to instantly deny Heart Cryptor with the effect of Drew's Worm. So forcing this out really early is super helpful. The Heart Cryptor gets to be sent to the graveyard. We lose our Lebellion in the process, which is unfortunate. They could also just bring back the Heart Cryptor if they really want to. There it is. They go for the March Hare. March Hare banish the Heart Cryptor, and then well, I suppose they go for the White Rabbit, then the White Rabbit can bring back the Heart Cryptor eventually. White Rabbit sets the GWC, and then from there, we keep playing a little bit. Okay, they probably should have done stop playing on Resolution, maybe? I don't know, it's just a spell card, who cares? They're going to banish here, go for the GWC, bring back the White Binder. White Binder can then banish the Heart Cryptor. I mean, oh my god, I can't believe this deck is still... It's so frustrating. How is this real? How is this deck real? I think if they did this one chain earlier, it might have been better, but they're still at a pretty decent spot here. So they're going to go March Hare, recycle back to the hand. They will resolve the Malice White Binder. They bring back the Heart Cryptor, and we still have another 2 banishes to play through. Okay, so they go for MTP to banish. We go Tracer Chain, pop the field spell, special summon out Recharger. This is really bad. Just removal is just so good versus dragons. So they banish the Recharger, which is really unfortunate. We make Striker Dragon, and then Bootsec the launch can revive 2 Rocket monsters from the graveyard because they control more monsters than us, so we do get to go for that Soul Charge play. We go into the Breach Borrow Dragon, effect Chain by Imperm from the search. And I think I actually end up targeting itself, I believe. Which was, I mean, I probably should just went for the Silver Rocket, but I guess it doesn't really matter. I could have ripped a card out the extra deck. That's not the point. This is the last turn here. So we still managed to get into the Trisboro Dragon. We managed to Light in the Dark. We go for the Fusion Summon of Fatal Flare. And Fatal Flare, of course, gets to equip, but you can kind of see where this is going. We're not in too bad of a spot here. We get to add a monster. Rocket Caliber is one of the few rocket extenders in the deck. Pisty is then going to bring back the Tracer. Trisboro can pop the field spell to add a card to our hand. This is very important. You'll see why soon. We're going to go into Borrow End. Borrow End is going to negate the access code talker, bring back a monster. We're going to link these two into Quad Borrow Dragon. Fatal Flare effect, when it's linked off, gets to destroy a card on the field. Quad Borrow discard, pop the White Binder, summon back 2 names. Absolute cinema. I was super proud of this game. Winning against Malice after getting shifted, and going second, I was happy with this game. All right, final duel to showcase here. Now, you're probably wondering, why do we have so many going second? It's just like, what do you want me to show you? Just a bunch of go first games where I do combo and win? It's like, I never even got to do any of those combos because the moment you start popping off with Dragon Link and your opponent doesn't have meaningful responses or not enough responses, they just scoop. Like, they just leave. So I couldn't even get any good replays. I'll respect your intelligence that you clicked on this video because you know vaguely how to play against, or you vaguely know what rockets do. So yeah, TLDR, Savage, Borrow Load, Borrow Shroud, sorry, not Borrow, Borrow End, Shroud, and Savage pass is what you're trying to go for. Anyway, we got Drolled after crossing out Fualos. Dragon Link, not good now. Ask a Dragon Link player what their end board is through Droll. It's very hard to do anything meaningful. We could have thrown all of our resources into Hieratic Seals, I guess, maybe? So perhaps there was a world where, like, Seals was the play. I don't know. Anyway, so we have a Bestial in our hand here, and I, like, didn't Bestial banish the Albaz. I'm gonna be honest, I remember exactly what happened. I was just toggled off. I was falling asleep. It was late at night, and I just forgot. But we still get some decent value out of it. It puts them on basically not much follow-up, because banishing the Albion means they don't get to go for Fusion, or Banishment, or Branded in Red. So that's kind of fine for us. We search a Bestial with the Bestial, and we get rid of the Bear Brum, which means they really can't do too much. We go straight to our main phase, tribute out the Lavelian for the Druid's Worm, sending the Mirror Jade, and that's good for us because that forces out their Cartesia. Needs to use specifically Lavelian, well, not specifically, but, you know, it's might as well fuse it off since it's already used its effect on the field that turn. They go for the Granganol and get a Lost Search here, so I think we just have to play through a Mercurier at this point. And we are looking pretty good on our hand here. We've got a lot of tools available to us. We've got the Lavelian that's going to place a spell trap on the field. We get to draw a card if we banish something. And I think we have full hand knowledge, so we don't actually have to worry about any disruption except the Mercurier. So we go for the Chaos Space. That's going to search us the White Dragons. This is obviously not standard in, like, pure Rockets, but again, as we talked about in the deck profile, I don't know if you want to play pure Rockets. I'm not sure if that's the correct play. We'll see. Maybe when Barrage Dragon pure Rockets becomes better, but for now, this deck just doesn't have a lot of backup plays into anything. Actually, a Dragon Link, not good now, guys. I'm sorry. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. All right, draw a card from the Black Serpent, shuffling away the White Serpent, and we're just comboing off here. We're just playing the game. We're just having a good time. This is awkward because, like, I think, like, the Absoluter loader plays is like, this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to, like, pop the Absoluter, add back the guy from the grave, Absoluter search on a new chain. Now you have 2 rockets in your hand, which means you can just summon 2 of them from your hand with the Boot Sector launch. It's always, of course, absolute cinema to be able to bring out your opponent's Mirror Jade with the Dark here. They've clearly fired off a little bit too early. Maybe they were falling asleep here, but they definitely should have tried to bring out that Mirror Jade that I just stole with the Quem. And now it's way too far gone now because I leave the extra deck, triggering the Quem, but it's Borrow End, and that means we get to negate the Quem. They can't bring back Albaz and fuse with our field. And from here, it's just very simply ending the game with some bodies and stuff. So, yeah, GG. Well, ladies and gentlemen, my verdict is Dragon Link, not good now. If I could give this deck an overall rating, I would probably say somewhere in the region of like 3.5 out of 5. Consistency is shockingly not as high as I had hoped. And even if it is consistent, Dragon Link always needs like 2+ cards to do anything. Which, you know, was fine like 3 or 4 years ago, back when Dragon Link was at its peak. But nowadays, it's just kind of, it's just not enough. It doesn't really help that you can't facilitate too many hand traps. The new cards are great, but they just don't do enough by themselves, or rather there is just no extenders. Like, all the new cards are cool. Like, Loader is a great starter, but there just isn't an extender for the deck. And locking you into darks with Loader is really bad, because the actual other extension plays that you have, either passing on a Humble Little Seals or a Romulus into Ravine play, is not possible with Loader because of the Dark Lock. So there's a lot of contradictions with the deck that I hope will get fixed with Barrage whenever we get that. But for now, Dragon Link is just kind of feeling like a relic in the past. Magic Dragon, LP, there's just so many cards on the ban list that have hindered this deck too much. In terms of its power, I mean, I don't even know if Borrow End, Shroud, and Savage is actually that impressive. It's literally like a 3-4 card combo to end on all of that. And I just don't know if it's enough. I really don't think it's enough. So, for now, I'm shelving Dragon Link. It's a fun little rogue deck. I think this absolutely has potential to get Master 1, although anything can get Master 1 if you're willing and dedicated enough. It's decent. It's a good rogue deck. Really, really good rogue deck. I just don't see it being up there with Dracotail, Yummy, and K9 Vanquish Soul, unfortunately. But if you have other ideas, let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of... I don't know. I just enjoyed playing this deck. Thanks, everyone. Peace out, and I'll see you in the next one.